All right, so today we are talking everything local service ads for auto repair shops, also known as LSAs. This is where the new top portion of the Google ads are, and where you have the Google guarantee check mark next to you, and really producing again a really strong high ROI for shops around the states. So yeah, we'll be talking more about those, how to make sure that you're leveraging those effectively, correctly, why they are even important, and kind of going through all those things. So hopefully that's why you came and attended today, because you feel like those are important, or you need to learn a little bit more, double check maybe what you currently have going on. So yeah, and again, I'm Kelsey with Lyft Auto Marketing. So today, who is for? Again, we're talking about independent shop owners, multi-location owners, shops running Google ads or even considering them, or anyone confused about their current local service ads. So why local service ads matter right now? So Google is changing how customers find shops overall. Just another section in the search where it's taking up a bunch of space, and right now it's that very top portion that's being taken up, especially when they're looking for a precise place to visit. If they're asking a question, that's going to be more AI overviews and whatnot, and eventually, yes, there'll be the maps and whatnot in the ads, but we're looking for mainly, hey, like if someone's typing in auto repair near me, things like that, then we will be effectively appearing for the ads. So you have the local service ads at the very top, and you'll have the AdWords that come up next. Then you have the map section that comes below that, and then obviously ads even appear within there. And then below that is your organic search for websites. So a lot of them, different search areas before you get to organic search that you're gonna kind of roll through. So trust is becoming more important than clicks overall. And obviously with local service ads, it's tied directly to your Google business profile, and thus those reviews appear there. Again, you have that green check mark from Google on there, creates that kind of that extra layer of trust that's built in. So again, all these different levers that are going to be very useful for the consumer to look at. So again, today we'll be covering what local service ads actually are, why some shops win and others don't with them, how local service ads compare to Google ads and SEO, again, the difference there. Again, I know there's a lot of different acronyms and things that go around in any industry, but obviously within the marketing space, there's a lot of different acronyms that are here, but we'll be talking about kind of the difference between those, how not to kind of get confused between what is what, how to decrease the waste and spend that's going to go on there, so on and so forth. All right, so we're not going to be doing quite a kind of a walkthrough in terms of, hey, step-by-step, click-by-click. Well, again, if people are wanting that, then sure, reach out or throw in the chat, throw in the comments if you're watching this on the replay of the webinar. Then we can make sure that maybe, yeah, it's going to be useful. We can walk through a case where we get one of our clients to approve having that walkthrough with it live, and we can go through what those steps are. There are some personal information though, so we'll have to figure out how to kind of blur things out. But again, it's a pretty straightforward process. There are a good amount of steps though, because Google's obviously putting its name behind yours and having that Google guaranteed there. And so with that obviously comes different regulations that Google wants to ensure that the business is following before it's going to put it up there. So, and it's not a turn it on and forget it type of strategy. Yes, there's people that can turn it on that way and forget it, but ideally, again, you're analyzing the leads that come through because you're able to get credit backs and whatnot. Again, we'll go over all that today. But again, this is not just an easy shortcut to do it. It's going to be about strategy and execution and why, again, LSAs are important. And again, as you have questions throughout this, all for making sure, especially if you're here live with me, that we are answering your questions and making sure we are making the most out of your time, out of your day here. Yes, I have slides prepared and we will be going through those. But again, if you have a question, a burning question, and even if it happens to not be an LSA, you want to throw it out there, please do. I'll make sure that we jump in and answer those for everyone. Again, because I want to make sure that you're getting the most out of your time here. But the real goal, again, better quality leads, better ROI, less wasted ad spend overall. Again, we're looking for that lower customer acquisition cost versus, again, some of the other different avenues of marketing that are out there. So overall, again, where do local service ads appear? They're going to kind of appear in a bunch of different ways and formats. Again, Google is constantly adjusting and playing with how these appear. So in this screenshot, you see it a little bit layered. Other times you usually see a tile that's, again, side by side, and then it kind of scrolls to the right as you go through them. And then I'll have the map section. The map section sometimes will be a little bit longer, sometimes it'll be condensed. There's a lot of playing that Google has with this to figure out, like, and what does the consumer want to see at the end of the day. And then you have the AdWords section here where you see kind of sponsored, and this is kind of the old typical way that typically we only called Google Ads this portion before for auto repair, because LSA was not featured. It's been around for a good amount of time within dental, law firms, HVAC, like a lot of these other industries. Auto repair, it is a bit newer. I'd say it's maybe a little over a year old now that it's been around for the industry. But again, you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of this opportunity. And so they appear at the very top of Google search results. And so if you're typing in auto repair near me, typing in auto repair in where you're living, car repair, mechanic, etc., it's going to be the very, very top. And so obviously in this day and age, people are lazy and they don't want to scroll, they don't want to think about it. Usually the Google Guaranteed has all the information it needs. And it has the shops that are highly rated, it has the reviews that are right there, how many, what their average rating is, and then a call button. And are they open right now? Like, again, that's really all a lot of people want to see and want to know. And so again, it's very powerful to have it right on the very top. And then it even appears above Google AdWords, above the map pack, above organic search results. So all these layers are definitely important because you want your shop to continue to appear in all the different places where some people like to scroll. And so if they scroll by and all you're relying on are local service ads and you didn't really care about how everything else was ranking, like, again, that's just lost opportunity. You want to appear in all the different areas. But again, it definitely helps to appear at the very top of where Google is. One question came through, so why is there less ad spend with LSAs versus Google Ads? It kind of just depends on the area that you're based in and the radius in which you have it stretched out to. Again, it's, I guess there's no one way, rhyme or reason why something will be more than the other. I've seen LSAs higher than AdWords at times. But again, it's going to be all about the setup in local service ads versus AdWords. AdWords, you can be a lot more precise. You can create like exact circle radiuses, and again, you can go after neighborhoods and whatnot. Versus within local service ads, you can delineate only down as deep as the zip code, and sometimes even the zip code doesn't appear, and so you have to get kind of tricky with having certain areas appear for you, because you can go after a county, city name, zip code, but not all city names appear, and not all zip codes appear, just because maybe it's not big enough of an area. But every once in a while you type in a random city, but then only the zip code appears. And it gets a little bit finicky sometimes, but again, to get it to where you want it to be, you just gotta keep typing things in, playing with it, and eventually you get the area that you want to go after and capture. And then you set in local service ad, you set a weekly budget versus in Google Ads, you set a daily spend. And so that's where it gets a little bit different there. And Google will just do its best to use the budget. Obviously, it wants to use what you're allowing it to spend. So hopefully that answers that question there. And so how local service ads are a bit different. And so again, now we're talking about a lot of acronyms, even within Google Ads itself, because there's things like, you'll see CPC or cost per click, you see CPA, which is cost per acquisition, sometimes called cost per conversion or cost per lead. So CPL, you can't use another CPC because that gets confusing. So Google AdWords, again, has a lot of different acronyms, has a lot of different percentage of like click-through rates and impression share, etc. there. But at the end of the day, you just care about the leads and how many you're getting, but Google Ads gets charged by the click. So it's a little bit different there, where it doesn't matter how many good or bad leads that you get, you still get charged based on the click, and there's nothing really that you can do about it to work around that. But on the local service ad side, you get charged per lead or per phone call, and that's where you can review each phone call. You can rebuttal them if some were with, hey, this is a spam call, or they're looking for a completely different place, then you can get a credit back from Google potentially if like, yep, they agree, yep, that wasn't a good one. And that comes through the following billing month. And so then really you're only getting charged for real leads at the end of the day, which is very powerful to be able to have. Now you can't just go through and rebuttal every single call and just because you're like, yeah, I'm trying to get some money back, and you just go through and rebuttal them. Eventually, Google is just not going to make you appear for local service ads because it just feels like, oh, well, it's not worth their time on their end because it's just costing them potential dollars when they can have someone else there. So you want to make sure you're careful and being honest about what is true and what is not. Even if there are a good amount that were not, I wouldn't rebuttal maybe all of them. You want to maybe get a portion of them, just so that way you don't risk going away. All right, we have a few comments that have jumped through. So this one says, will you go over how to filter leads to weed out services not provided, like mobile, diesel, tire, state inspections? When we ran LSAs, 90% of our call were specific services we did not provide. And our LSA rep for Google said there's only so many categories that can be toggled off or on to filter call leads. Yeah, so I believe I should have a screenshot later on that will have this service breakdown. I'm not sure if that's featured in here, but yeah, exactly what is said here in local service ads. You're only able to, again, there's about 8 categories, I believe, on top, 8 to 10 categories that you can toggle on or off, and they're very general in terms of brake repair, and it'll be oil change, and some just general categories that it has on or off, or engine repair, and you can toggle them on or off. Unfortunately, when you delineate down to like mobile, diesel, tire, state inspection, you can't do that on the local service ads. That's going to be more on the AdWords side of things, where you can really comb down to the exact keywords that you want to go after, and if you want them there or not. So if you don't want them there, you would add them into the negative keyword side. If you want them there, you would add them into the keyword side, and you'd create that as a sort of a phrase match or exact match type of keyword. But again, you can be way more specific on the AdWords side, which makes AdWords pretty powerful in that sense. But local service ads really leverages Google, and it does its best to, hey, I believe this is where you should be appearing. But then that's where you get that rebuttal opportunity when calls do come through. But again, if a bunch of those are not the right ones and you're getting charged, but it's not, maybe it's just not the right fit for you and what you have. Maybe you're not a more general shop. You're going after more very specific things. Then maybe local service ads becomes not really the best fit for what you're trying to do. But again, typically it's a pretty powerful tool, and over time, Google starts understanding it more and more with what you're going after, especially as you add, again, particular photos and things to really help cater what it should be appearing for. Okay, so hopefully that answers that question in terms of how to filter it. And on the local service ads, again, it's literally a toggle on or off. It's like a little green light that appears next to the select categories that they have. You can't manually adjust those, unfortunately, at this time. Next is, how do I dispute a lead in LSA? I found how to rate them, but there wasn't an option for dispute. So on the it should be on the leads, the lead. So there's a bunch of different tabs on the local service ad side of things, and on the lead side, where you view each and every phone call and lead, there should be a toggle right there where you're able to dispute. And then even there, you can see that some are like charged and some are like, say, pending, some say credited as a kind of a status toggle. So you can do that there. And then if for whatever reason it's not appearing, then you can create a support ticket directly in the LSA side of things and just reach out, and they'll be able to be like, oh yeah, this is for whatever reason, maybe it's a glitch on your side where it's not appearing or whatever it may be. And then you can go from there to take care of that. So that is going to be how you want to look at the LSA rebuttal. Awesome. All right, so we'll keep rolling in terms of local service ads. So again, there's leads come in as phone call or messages. You can toggle one or the other. If you're not going to be active on being able to message those local service ads back, I'll just recommend putting it listed as phone call. Again, that's going to be the best way to kind of also gauge the lead quality or not as well in terms of the rebuttal process, versus when it's the messaging back and forth. That's a little bit trickier of a process. But again, if you want to differentiate yourself and turn messages on, absolutely, because they're, for the most part, most LSA ads are all toggled just to phone call only. Google screens and verifies businesses. That's just going to be through the process through setup, where there's going to be different insurance docs and background checks and things like that are needed, that are, again, a lot more stringent in comparison to AdWords, where again there's a very basic level of like, oh, they need your EIN and just to verify the business, but you don't need to go through all the hoops and ladders that you typically need to do on the LSA side. And reviews are shown directly in the ad, so that's, again, leverages the power of how good your service is, and the reviews that you're capturing are ready for your Google Business Profile. It gets catered to right there. So if you're up and above all your competitors, again, LSA becomes even more of a bigger strength for you. So why Google pushes local service ads? So obviously there's higher trust for customers there because again, it shows the reviews, shows the green check mark of Google's name, better user experience that they found, because again, it just gives them a tighter selection and it's at the top of Google. But granted, obviously it's a little bit of pay to play because Google's like, the only way to get up here is if you go through our process and then you're paying for these leads to come to you. But again, the fact that you can rebuttal good or bad, I think makes it a bit more powerful and allows the ability of a truer cost per lead to come through in terms of like the quality of the lead. So again, creates more predictable results typically, but again, as more competition in your area turn it on, then obviously like the cost per lead will naturally go up just based on supply and demand, but also mean that overall supply now split up between more people, you may not get as much. So that's where it becomes a balancing act of like not only relying on local service ads, maybe also putting up AdWords. So that way you have, again, two different areas to leverage ads. So what customers see? So they're gonna see your shop name, you're gonna see that average star rating, that review counts, the amount that you have, Google Guaranteed badge, and then kind of a call button. I'll show you business hours. Usually there'll also be a little blurb like that maybe relates to the search that they typed in. So again, if they're looking for a brake repair, there will be a little toggle that shows how you do in your Google business profile. If you have brake repair selected properly as a category, it naturally will appear then in the Google business profile. So again, fine-tuning the Google business profile on the SEO side of things is important as well, just to ensure that local service ads can leverage those things, throw out those little trust icons for people as they go through and click and see things there. So what it looks like inside the LSA dashboard. So again, this is a little example of what it looks like when there's going to be different when you create a local service ads and then you get approved. There's going to be naturally different toggles that you're able to see. There's going to be like a profile section. There'll be a lead section. There'll be a few other settings sections. Like again, there are a few things, but this is where the leads are. And so then you can see again every phone call of that has come through. It shows when the lead was received, last activity, and last activity is not necessarily meaning like, oh, they call it back again. Last activity is just activity within maybe charge status even, and things along those lines. So those get updated naturally over time, and older ones can suddenly appear at the top. So like you can see here where a 115 one appeared up here because it finally got credited in that February timeframe. And so that's why that suddenly appears. So it doesn't mean that they called again in the month of February or anything like that. Usually you'll see that when the lead is received, you'll trust that icon in terms of, yeah, this is the month. It'll show the phone number. And then even further from there, you can even listen to the call straight in from Google, or ideally you have a tracking phone number that within your system, so that way you can all listen to it in there as well, wherever your familiar system is. All right. So again, this is the back end. Make sure you play with it, you understand it, you see how things are flowing through. It'll give you the lead type. At times, it'll even show the job type of what Google believes it to be. And again, these aren't always right, but Google's doing a pretty good job of actually putting the category there. At times you'll see things that are blank because it just doesn't know which category to put it in, but it gives you a general idea of like, okay, what things were on and where things are coming from. All right. And then, so every lead is tracked and time-stamped as you can see here. If you had a tracking number, you can even refer it to that and be like, oh yeah, I can see it there. Sometimes you'll see that, oh, it's showing a phone call came through, but maybe it didn't appear in the tracking system. And then you can dig through why am I getting charged for this when I'm not even seeing that call go through Google? And you can rebuttal it that way. Kind of gives an extra double check there. And then Google reviews, obviously each lead for validity, and you're not blindly kind of spending dollars at times. You can really see each call that you're getting charged for. And then with that phone number, you can even track it then back to an actual RO if you want to, and then you can see your actual ROI versus the leads that you're spending on Google there, and seeing your close ratio of those calls, so on and so forth. All right. And so big things that customers feel when with local service ads is going to be one, it feels like Google has vetted the shop for them. Because again, Google's putting its name, it has like Google guaranteed, has a little green check mark, helps stand out. And it feels like, oh, Google trusts them, so I can trust them. Because again, some people just blindly trust things, like, for example, with AI, people type things in and trust every answer that spits out. But again, there's no real extra research step for most people. They're just trusting the system. So same concept here, where again, you have Google's name next to yours. It's just naturally trusting you. It sees how many reviews you have. Boom. They don't really need to think that much more. It's like, okay, I'm just going to give them a call. And as long as you do a good job answering the phone, picking it up, getting them in, from there, obviously those are potential dollars that comes into the shop. Also shows other people trust them right away, because it shows obviously the reviews from other people, and then it feels like a safe choice. So gets over a lot of fears for a lot of consumers right off the bat with local service ads, just because of how it appears and how it looks. And again, having Google's name next to yours just gives that extra clout in comparison to a lot of your other peers in your local area, probably just not going through the steps. Again, there's a good amount of documentation, and sometimes it is painfully slow in terms of the approval process. But as long as you keep going through it, keep pushing through it, and doing those items and getting it approved, then you get to be one of the few in your local area, sometimes the only in your local area if you're in a smaller-ish area, that again, you just get to scoop up all those leads based on the dollar spend that you have. So again, I think it's a really good opportunity there. So the shift from clicks to trust. The old model, again, is traffic and clicks within the AdWords side of things. New model, you're building a lot more trust within the consumer. And then as the buyer and spender of ads, you can also build more trust in ads itself, because you can see the actual calls that you're getting charged for. Versus again, with the clicks, it's a little bit of a guessing game of like, okay, I know eventually it's leading to this many calls based on the tracking that I have. But again, you start seeing a lot of wasted spend, and it gets trickier to comb through that. But local service ads makes it, again, a pretty strong ROI. So typically the difference, at least right now, that we're seeing is on a cost per lead side of things. On the local service ad side, I guess I'll start with Google AdWords. So Google AdWords, you're typically seeing it in that $40 to $60 range. At times, if you're a Euro diesel shop, more specific niche shop, looking in that $80 to $100 range. And then on the local service ad side, though, you're seeing it in that $20 to $30 range per lead. So it's cutting it in half, if not even more so at times on the cost per lead side of things. And again, for the same dollar spend, and you're getting double, if not more calls from the same dollars, that seems like a win-win in my book, and creates a higher potential for even stronger ROI of the same dollar spend. And then you can be even more aggressive. Maybe you're like, you know what, I can even get double the cars if I naturally with the same spend, but I can get even more cars if I increase the spend on the local service ad side. And so again, it just becomes a numbers game as you play with it. Then why LSAs work well for auto repair shops. So again, auto repair is a higher ticket decision. It's not like a e-commerce where they're making a $20 spend. Yes, if they only come in for an oil change, that's going to be on the cheaper end of things. But I'm assuming a lot of you all do DVIs and do pretty complete inspections where you'd give a consumer everything that they are needing, because no one is only ever needing an oil change unless they are a very regular customer, and that's a great deal that if they're a very regular customer. But most people, again, the only thing that the normal consumer understands is that they need an oil change. They don't know that even the timing of when they even need a brake repair, which I would say is the next probably most common thing. But then there's also the fluids that need to be flushed and filled up. There's obviously the natural alignments and rotating of tires, which is again another very simple task, but so many people don't even think of all the little things that are needed. And so again, the whole idea is to get them in, and this is a great way to get them in and win those customers. So customers are often stressed or rushed, and again, in this day and age, they just have a low attention span. They're looking for immediate feedback. Again, in social, you scroll and you stay on something for a little over a second, at times sometimes less than a second. So why would people be reading reviews after reviews. Like, I'm a consumer that reads a lot of reviews and whatnot before I make a decision, but a lot of people just don't have the time to, and nor the want to go through that. So they're just like, let's just go through the top, let's pick the top one that has the most reviews, highest rating, perfect for me. And that's kind of a lot of the ways where LSA rises to the occasion, because it just shows all those kind of go-to factors, makes the decision a lot easier for the customer. So trust matters, again, more than price, more of the time. And when that trust is built, the price doesn't matter. They're just like, I know they're going to take care of me. The price is what it is. So some of the biggest mistakes that shops make is like, finally they go through the whole process and they get through LSAs and then like, you know what, I'm just going to turn it on and just leave it, and then sort of never check it again. Or worse, again, they didn't realize that it didn't go all the way through the process. Maybe they submitted everything and they thought, oh, it's going to turn on by itself, but oh no, the insurance document didn't quite have the legal business name listed the same way that you typed it in, and so thus it got denied, and they got to re-upload the document or adjust the business name that way. Again, it's very finicky, so you need to keep double checking that it goes through all the way, and then officially like the toggle is on and the leads are coming through. Because again, just because it's on, sometimes just there's little glitches on the back end. We're like, oh, why are our leads not coming through those? So then you got to reach out to support, and they're like, oh, okay, they have to fix something on their end, and now it's good to go. So again, you want to make sure that you're double checking that process to get the best result, and making sure that it's happening at the end of the day. Because if not, you just wasted all that time trying to set it up thinking that it's going to work. So another reason that shops fail with LSAs are going to be the reviews. And so some people are just not as consistent about getting reviews. And obviously it's a big highlight for local service ads. It's like the people with the better average review, that the more reviews, the more often they typically appear. They typically appear on the local service ads kind of carousel that's up there. And being on the front end obviously creates a natural higher chance of getting clicked through. So ideally, you want to be having a system and a process to also get reviews very regularly. They're important on all levels of SEO, as well. It's not the number one ranking factor, but again, it is a really big factor for local service ads and just the overall consumer deciding to choose you. And so people need to be better about getting consistent review requests and then also responding to the reviews at the end of the day. You don't want to just leave reviews unresponded, because again, as people see the reviews and maybe they happen to do a little bit of digging because it's like, oh wow, they have so many, is this real? And they click in and it's like, oh, just a bunch of ones where like no one responds. Like, oh god, I don't know if this is in fact real or not, because the owner doesn't respond, or the business doesn't respond to any. So you want to make sure you're responding, and that's also again another easy way to tack on SEO wins, by responding with sort of the make, model, what they came in for. So we have a question that came through. Is there a threshold for LSAs to be effective, like number of reviews? I don't think there is a threshold. I would really compare yourself to your local competition in the area. So it's, again, if you're like, oh, I have 200 reviews that are 5 stars, but there are like 10 other shops that are like maybe close to 1,000, that 200 doesn't necessarily move the needle as much, and so it becomes a number. But yes, you will absolutely appear. It's not like, oh, you have less reviews, so Google's not going to make you appear more. It's just kind of like, as a consumer, if I'm looking at, again, a bunch of different shops and I see 3 that appear there on local service ads, and I see, oh, one has a 4.9 rating of 200 reviews, and another one has, oh, they have 4.8, but they have 1,200 reviews. And the next one next to that, they have 4.7 and they have 875 reviews. Again, because of like the big wide disparity of review total, they may seem like, oh, the lower one just seems more risky to me because not enough people went there. Even though like obviously 200 reviews is a crap ton of reviews, and that shouldn't deter someone just based on, again, your average rating is still very high. But it in reality, the situation, like if there's so many more people and so many more reviews that got left at some other place at a very high clip, people are like, well, obviously a lot of people in the area trust them. Maybe I should just go there instead, even though it's a 0.1 maybe average difference. So that's where I would base it really off of your local competition and just keep going at it though. Just because you're lower than them doesn't mean like, oh, I need to give up and stop. There's no way I'm going to reach that many. Like, no, just keep going at it. Google likes the recency of reviews as well. And so Maybe they just are riding the coattails of reviews that they've gotten over a year ago, and they do a poor job of getting recent ones. Eventually, they're not going to appear anymore because, again, there's no recency of results being driven to the shop. Google doesn't trust it as much. So you say, I'm new with 12 reviews versus everyone else is over a few hundred. Again, all you need is 10 to be able to get on local service ads. So one, you have 12, perfect. You can get created, get on it. Now, in terms of the results, as you continue to get more and more reviews, you'll be able to get better and better results. So maybe in the very beginning, as you have local service ads on, maybe Google doesn't make you appear as often as some of your peers because, again, they have way more reviews. There's way more natural trust because at the end of the day, Google wants consumers to keep using Google over and over and over again. And they're not going to do that by showing all the really tiny shops all the time that only have 10 to 20 reviews. Like, they're like, oh, well, where are the big shops and things like that? They're the natural questions. And then they're like, oh, this other search platform is showing way better results. They just start leaving Google. And then that hurts, obviously, their business, hurts us for trying to leverage Google. So they're trying to figure out a way, like, how do you balance it? They don't want to ignore, obviously, the consumer, or the smaller business. So that's where you just got to keep going at it. And naturally, you start getting better and better results over time. Another one says, for my detail shop, I have our LSA budget set to $400 weekly budget, and it's only spending about $100, $125 per week. Why is this? There could be a whole range of answers here, Brent. So it could be that the city selections, or I don't know where you're located. So it could be if you're in a not very populated area and the cities or zips that you've selected just don't cover a population that has enough searches to make sense to spend the $400 per week. That could be why. So you naturally would need to increase more area, but usually it's going to come down to needing to increase more area, or if your competitors are just, again, are night and day difference in comparison to like your reviews. And again, when those leads come through, if it sees like, oh, you have too many credit backs, or you're not even answering the calls when they do come through, those are all little dings for Google that's like, okay, we're not going to make them appear. So yes, we can make them spend their money, but there's not enough to go around. Like, we want to have a different trustworthy source to go through. So I would, again, look at all those mechanisms, but usually what is taking place is that there isn't just enough locations that are listed. So sometimes you only have your city name listed, and the city name is just really tight. And you're like, no, I get people from way further than that. Why is it only this? Just really look at that. Play with you can type in a count. So the county covers the biggest amount of area, but if you're like, county is too big, then yeah, go drill down to the zip codes and whatnot of where you're at. Make sure that those are all entered in, so that way you're covering as good an area as possible, because naturally, as you include another area, that's more opportunity of searches and that's more opportunity of spend being used. Because yeah, if it's there, and sometimes there aren't enough searches to go around, and that's maybe the cap in which you're spending. But that does seem a little bit low, Brent, where it's only $100, $125 per week. I would assume that it definitely has the ability to spend more. So I would look at, again, that location setting that you have on your local service ads. So what it takes to get approved. So this is, again, a quick screenshot of what it looks like, all the different sections that are typically going to be there that you have to go through. So you have billing information, naturally, of the card and payment details that you need to even run the ad. Then you have insurance details. So insurance details are not the same for every state. Wherever you're located, something different might be required in there. And again, sometimes it's not even a legal state requirement to have that type of insurance. And so then it becomes the debate of, what do I need to get that or not? Sometimes Google will change it and realizing that, right now, like they didn't know that wasn't required. So eventually they'll change it, but then you're waiting. So again, that usually will mean it's a hurdle for everyone else. And if you're one of the few that then go out of your way, yes, it costs a bit to get that one type of insurance right now. But if you're one of few, again, our local service ads versus your other peers, I would strongly recommend doing it because, again, of the ROI that comes from it, especially when there's lower entrance into the market of LSA in your area. So that usually, insurance doc is usually the hardest one, and then background check is usually the one that makes people the most hesitant to fill out. So like, I don't know if I want to put in all my information online and do all this. I don't know if my my team can pass a background check. So really though, it says any like customer facing individual, but typically if you as the owner just put it in for yourself, that usually is good enough to go through and get it approved. So if you can just do a background check for yourself and go through it, get that approved, that usually gets completed. Google Business Profile, so that should be pretty straightforward, where you link that up to your map listing. And then bidding and budget, this is just where you're setting up like, hey, what is your weekly spend going to be? Like Brent mentioned, $400 a week. It shows you if you type in a number and it'll be, hey, you typed in 400 and it'll say your monthly spend will not go above this amount. And it gets to give you a general idea. But I mean, you can put it up to $10,000 a week, but it doesn't mean that it's going to just spend it all if there's just not enough searches and volume of use to be had there. So why shops fail with LSAs? Again, a big portion is going to be call handling. So, but that comes down to marketing in general as well. Like if you're spending dollars on marketing, but you're not doing a good job on the phone, it really won't matter at the end of the day what you're spending. That's a lot of wasted dollars and spend that, again, naturally makes a lot of people frustrated with marketing at the end of the day. But if you're not answering the calls, if your close ratio of these calls are not very high and thus not bringing in a good dollar spend, it's a lot of wasted spend out the door for absolutely no reason. So make sure that when you are investing in marketing that you have the team, you have the process ready to go. So then that way, when calls do come in, you answer them every time and you're doing your best to get them in for whatever they are needing. And then another reason why shops fail with LSA is going to be expectations. And so sometimes they expect instant scale. Sometimes they expect the budget to be used to its max capacity right away. And sometimes they're expecting that the leads are going to be this cheap forever and get frustrated when, oh, what happened this month? Why did I only get half the calls, but I still spent the same amount? Again, just more entrants into the market and naturally supply and demand, things got more expensive on the lead side of things. But it's still a very good and strong product to be able to leverage. Really, because I really do like that you can rebuttal calls that are not good, because naturally, again, there's spamming things all the time, and so being able to delineate those and not get wasted dollars for when that happens, unlike on the AdWords side where like that just will naturally happen and you get charged, no way to rebuttal, is what I really like about LSAs. And another reason they fail is going to be no tracking. And so again, if you don't have a tracking number, you're not looking at the leads getting booked, you're not seeing how like, are they even resulting in ROs, then you end up basing things off of feelings. So like, I think it's not working, or I feel like it should be doing better. And really, if you don't have any tracking mechanism, then you're going to be shooting blind and again, really just going off of hopes of like, oh, it felt like we were really busy this month, or it felt like we were really slow this month, and then pointing fingers and maybe not where it needs to be pointed to. So yeah, just make sure that you have some sort of tracking when you are leveraging these things. And why shop type matters. So again, LSAs are going to work best for general repair shops, and again, those that are supporting all makes and models, because of the lack of specificity that you can do within the different services that are in there. There's only a few selections. You can't even delineate by makes and whatnot in local service ad campaign. So really, you might get a lot of wasted calls in terms of cars that you just do not fix, and that's what found you. That's what Google put you up for. So that's where for specialty shops, they still can perform well, but you just need to really look at it and also give it time. So that way Google starts learning about what you really want to appear for. But again, even for what you want to appear for, those searches could be a lot less than the average consumer that types in auto repair and things like that. So it just doesn't naturally appear for you as often. But again, it can absolutely still work as another form of ad that I still strongly recommend. It just you will probably be doing a lot more rebuttaling and crediting back of within your account than the average general repair shop. But yeah, so one setup does not fit for every shop, no matter what. So again, the truth about local service ads, they amplify what's already happening. They do not fix a broken system though. So again, make sure that you have that process and system like we talked about of when a call does come in from local service ads or really in any avenue, what process do we have? What does our close ratio look like? And then that way you can start figuring out, okay, how many calls do we really need in order to move the needle of like, we're trying to hit this car count goal, so on and so forth. Question is, are there keywords I need to add or is it just the categories? Yeah, so local service ads is strictly going to be the service categories that are already there for you. There's no manual adding that you can do at all on the local service ad side. So you can add, again, you can throw in different pictures on the local service ad side that can maybe go after more specific makes that you cover, and naturally it teaches Google through its kind of algorithm that way. But yeah, in terms of keywords, that is not going to be what this webinar is kind of entailing. We'll have another webinar probably later on this year that focuses just on the AdWords side of things, and that definitely will be where the keywords are looked at and how you want to break those down. There's all the different ways that you can even list the keywords. But yeah, in local service ad section, you would just have the categories, you toggle them on or off if you want that type of repair. Like if you're like, hey, you know what, we don't do any transmission. So like obviously you would turn off transmission repair as that service category because you don't want any of those sets of calls coming to you. So what actually drives LSA performance? Again, we talked about this: reviews, proximity, responsiveness, overall profile strength. Reviews matter, again, more than the overall star rating, but again, it's going to be combined together. But again, like I mentioned, in that total, people really see that really quickly because most of the local service ads that are going to be appearing are all going to have high overall average ratings. So the biggest difference maker is that parenthesis of how many reviews you do have. And so having a lot of them at a higher clip is going to be good. But again, that points back to your systems and how you're performing at the shop. Are people even happy with the service? Because you can spend all you want on ads, but if people aren't happy, they're not going to come back. And now you are spending a lot of money in order to get any dollar. So because the cheapest dollar is going to be when the people that build trust that come back naturally, you not have to spend, again, premium dollar to get them to come back in. They already know about you. They're coming back. Question here: bringing on a pro to manage LSAs doesn't mean they will know more about what keywords work or something like that. What does professional management LSAs do that I can't? So again, great question. I mean, it could be where it's that time delineation of, hey, I do not have the time to look at every single lead and listen to these calls that are coming through. I don't have the time to make sure that the locations that it's going after are being added or subtracted based on the spend that's happening. I don't have the time to just upload more photos within the system. So again, if it's something that you have a lot of time for, then absolutely. I mean, it could be with any marketing though, that you'd have the time to manage it yourself. But in terms of professional, then that's where we would be, again, with a lot of regularity, looking at all the things that are in there and playing with the system, but really, again, ensuring that ROI needle is looking like what it needs to look like, being able to make budget suggestions in terms of an increase or even a decrease. If you're like, hey, we are swamped, then it's like, okay, when we can bring the budget down, or hey, we are slow and I need X amount more cars to potentially come in. And it's like, okay, that's going to look like this X amount of dollars to have to spend based on, again, how many cars are coming through the dollars we're already spending. So that's what you're going to be looking at there, Andrew. But I apologize if you hear my baby banging on my office door right now. Responsiveness is a ranking factor. So again, missed calls hurt performance, slow callbacks hurt performance, and Google tracks how you're handling those leads. So if it's seeing that the leads got through, but you didn't answer, again, the likelihood of your ad appearing again, it keeps going down with each missed opportunity, because again, it wants to build that trust with the customer. It's not here to help every single business win all the time, like especially if it's not helping them. So you want to ensure that you're doing everything you can to help Google trust you. Then proximity, again, naturally plays a role. People are lazy and they don't want to drive that far either. And so like if you're closer to where the consumer is searching from, that will definitely help you rank better. So sometimes you're like, hey, why am I not ranking in this other town right over here? Well, if they have 10 other auto repair shops in that city name, it's going to be really difficult to be naturally be able to have Google pick them over you. But there'll be different ways, and not everyone has the biggest ads budget. So again, if their ad spending is done, naturally that allows you to sneak in there. But more questions have rolled through. Does how fast a lead gets answered factored in at all? No, I think speed definitely matters. Again, in this day and age, the faster you can answer and have a quality phone call with the individual, the better it is. But I think Google's more looking at like that answering ability, and then like the quality of like more consistently Google being able to charge you for quality calls. Because if it's like, oh, there's just a bunch of credits that they keep requesting credit backs, again, it's not going to matter if you answer every single one fast. Eventually Google won't make your local service ad appear. And then as in just waiting to the second ring to pick up hurt versus answering on the first ring. Yeah. So again, that I honestly, we haven't measured like, oh, this many people answered on the first ring versus second ring, and this is where their local service ad budget got expanded and used more. Not a test that we have. Maybe it will be a test that we try to attempt. I don't know how we would go about quite attempting that in terms of like, hey, it'd be really hard to tell a shop that please do not answer on the first ring, only answer on the second ring, and then versus like try to answer as fast as you can. I think that would be a hard way to have any owner want to test that. But again, I think as long as you are answering and having a quality conversation, that is the most important thing at the end of the day. All right. So, and then profile optimization matters. So again, there's little things within your Google Business profile outside of local service ads that you want to make sure are getting updated regularly as well. Because again, the two are linked together. So you want to have the correct categories, the correct service listed, and then just overall consistent business info that is there. So that way, again, it's just building trust with Google at the end of the day. So again, different ways that a professional can come in and assist what you have going on. And then why two shops get different results? Again, people will complain, well, why this guy that's doing local service ads is crushing it and he's spending this much money and getting this much from it, and I'm over here, I'm trying to spend that too, and it's not working. But again, if you're not in the exact same area, it's naturally going to work different. And it could be that, hey, well, for whatever reason, his competition is terrible of local service ads in his area. Yours are very good, and there's a lot more people that are doing it. So don't compare necessarily to what other shops are getting in terms of results. Care about how do we just maximize the performance of mine and keep getting the best result there, because that is what's going to help you win at the end of the day. All right. So that pretty much covers a lot of what I wanted to talk and chat about in terms of, again, the consistency and how it's different than AdWords. So again, we talked about local service ads being that top portion of Google now. AdWords is where you can get those specific keywords, just really specific tight radiuses around given locations for different campaigns. You can have a diesel one and then a general auto repair one. General auto repair obviously would be a much smaller radius than a diesel radius, and you can do all those different things. But within local service ads, you can't do that. It's like its own. Even if you do both things, you have to still select all the different areas to kind of cover one thing. So that's where if you want to be specific, but it doesn't hurt to also have both and kind of balance your budget. That way, just cover more area on the search. And then SEO is just going to be that organic rating, but SEO and how your Google Business Profile is performing definitely only helps in terms of local service ads, and if you're there compared to your competition. And SEO encapsulates the review count. It covers the amount of services and categories that you have listed. That way, they're all kind of speaking to each other and making the most sense there. All right. So again, hopefully that makes sense in terms of local service ad and like the spend and why to spend more or less on it. I recommend, if you do not have it set up, that like you put it as the most important task to set up today, really, and like to start the process of getting it set up. So that way, even if you don't turn it on right away, like at least you have it as a toggle to be turned on whenever ready and whenever possible, versus like oh man, I do want it on now, but then you haven't started the process yet, and then you get stuck in the process because you didn't realize you needed this insurance document, and now you gotta go talk to this person, and it gets taking longer and longer, and eventually you give up. You don't put it in. So I'll make it a task. If you don't, again, please just go through and create it. They're free to create. So you can create it and not spend any money, and eventually just have it ready to spend dollars. So again, even if you're not a believer in spending on ads, I recommend at least having created and ready to go. So yeah, that is, again, everything that I wanted to chat about. I know there's a lot of other elements here, but we took a good amount of time. People were asking great questions, so I don't want to be over redundant on some of these things. But if there's more questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat, or if you're watching this on the replay, please throw it in the comments, and like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. But we also, again, if you're looking for a professional to take a peek of what's going on the local service ad side of things, or you're like, I want someone to set it up for me, perfect, we can take care of doing that for you. But also we want to analyze everything that you have going on, and so all the improvements and whatnot that you're potentially needing. So we do free shadow sessions. So you can scan the QR code here, you can email us, you can go to our website, book a strategy session, give us a call, whatever's needed. But we review kind of what you have going on, we review your competitors, what they have going on, how you can best, again, at the end of the day, just be better than what they are, so that way you can be the best in your local area. We have a free marketing checklist. If you're like, I don't like talking to anybody, I want to check it myself, boom, perfect, we have a checklist. So you can go onto our website, download the checklist, it's free. Just make sure that you, again, have everything set up in the best way possible for yourself, to ensure that, again, you can win in marketing at the end of the day. Especially if you have time, perfect, you can do those things yourself. Also have a Facebook group with other auto repair shop owners in there. Again, we play our replays, we do our podcast videos. There's other shop owners sharing tips and tricks and the latest things that they have going on, or maybe a problem that they have and they want other people's ears of how to help. And if you have been in that situation, you know the solution, perfect, you can help them out. So that's where, again, free group to join in Facebook. There's Auto Repair Shop Owners Mastermind. And then we have a book, Drive More Business, step-by-step guide of internet marketing for auto repair shops. Kind of just walks you through really screenshots, click by click, of where to go to certain places to get certain things set up. And again, you can grab that on Amazon or Kindle. But I'm not seeing any other questions pop through on here. So again, thank you all for being here live with me. There was a good amount of you here live. So I really appreciate it. I appreciate the questions and the comments. If there's ways that we can do better, or there's different topics that you want to see and hear, please feel free to let us know. Reach out to me personally. You can reach out to me directly on Facebook or through email or whatever it may be, and I'll make sure to get back to you right away. But again, I am Kelsey Altram with Lift Auto Repair Marketing, and we'll talk to you guys again next time. Thanks. Bye.